Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona, where it's not very sunny, but it's very wet. It has been a super fantastic, sparkling fun Friday. How has your Friday been? I'm sorry, I got a different top on. This one's a little warmer. We're cold today. It has been a fun day. It has been a quiet Friday. So I've had some chance to work on a project I've been given to work on. So that's been pretty cool. I had a lot of fun doing that. And all day the rain has been on and off, or as Zeffy says, the windows are crying. And they're going right now. But I actually had to turn the AC up today because it got too cold inside the RV. Not a problem you usually have in Arizona at this time of the year. But we're down to a high of, I think it's like 88 it's supposed to be today. Hang on. Oh, we're actually currently at 74. And look at that lovely circle of green and yellow. That green and yellow circle means rain. And if you touch the middle piece here, it puts it into a line graph, a little time thingy, so you can slide it along. So it looks like we're going to be finishing our rain at around 7:10, 7:15, which is around the time we go for a walk. So that's perfect timing, which means that Zeffy won't get wet. She doesn't like getting wet. But the cool part is that we've had the rain, we've had thunder and lightning, and we've had the awning out all day. We haven't had the wind buffering it at all. And the best part of today, the jets have been flying. Oh yeah. They started this morning after my morning call, and all morning they were literally roaring overhead all morning. We're on the direct flight path for the Air Force Base Luke, I think it is. Luke? Yeah, Luke. So we're on the direct path for that, and they were buzzing overhead. They were roaring overhead all morning. It was fantastic. And and was it somebody knocking at the doors there? No, Zeffy's not getting excited. Nobody's at the door. She is actually sitting beautifully there. Something has got her attention out the window. And just as I was going for a walk this morning, there were someone was walking two Dobermans, beautiful dogs, very well behaved. They were going ballistic with their barking, like across the street and about 2 doors down. They're standing there between two park models. They were going ballistic with their barking, and the owner said, like, stop it, come away, and was trying to get them under control. And she would walk them away a little bit, and then they'd go back to that area and start barking again. So I don't know what they saw down there, but something down between these two park models set the dogs off. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, you're not coming here. So I don't know if there was a coyote down there, if there were rabbits down. There's a lot of rabbits around here right now. I don't know what was down there that they were looking at, but they were very serious about their barking. And of course, Zeffy, I'm trying to get her harness on her so we can go for a walk. And I'll say, come on, Zeffy, buck up. And she'd run down. I go to put harness on. She'll turn around and run back up onto the dashboard again. She'll watch the two dogs. And in the end, while she's and so then I'd call her again. She'll come back. And just as I go to put her on, she turns around and runs back to the dogs. So I'm like, do you want to go for a walk or not? It was so funny. So eventually she's standing there like watching these dogs. So I just go up to her while she's standing on her bed on the dash there, and just put the harness on her and buckle her all up. And then she was willing, after it was buckled up, then she was willing to come with me to go for our walk. It was hilarious. I'm sort of like, really? And we managed to get back just before the rain started again. So we timed it beautifully. Last night it was a little touch and go because we're out walking and there's lightning and thunder happening almost on top of us. And so I'm like looking at the thing, and we usually do this like big walk around the edge of the pet area of the RV park. And I'm sort of like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. It's going to take us too close to that lightning and thunder that's happening over there. So we just walked up and down the street a little bit, and I said to Zeffy, okay, the rain's about to come. We're going inside because you don't want to get wet. And she gave me no argument, which was fun. So, but we've had a very quiet day today. It has been so dark outside today that it's been dark inside. The bedroom has been almost pitch black in there. And I got up and I was like, she's not on the bed, she's not on the ground. I wonder where she is. And I go into the bedroom. I can't see anything. It was so dark in the bedroom. I turned the light on and she puts her head up, sort of like all sleepily, like, what are you doing, Ma? Oh, there you are. And she was quite happy and she stayed in there for quite a while because it was so dark in there. She loves it. If I had opened up the blinds, she would have come out here. She doesn't like the daylight coming in because the windows are either side of the head of the bed, and that meant the light comes in at her, and she doesn't like that. So yes, I even put the blinds up one day while she was still laying out here. She goes in there, and like less than a minute later, she's running back out here and into her crate. She wanted the dark. So I go in and I close the blinds for her, and then she went back in there again. She is very particular about her light thing. She must take after me because I like it dark when I sleep. I don't like light coming in windows. I like it dark. So it's been a very good day. I discovered today, and I've got them on my wish list to order at some point, but I discovered today that you can get, you know how if you're knitting you get the variegated yarn. For my knitters and crocheters, you can get the variegated yarn. For my cross stitches, you can get variegated floss that you can use for cross stitching. It's just a thread that has multiple colors woven into it, and they kind of bleed into each other. I found gel pens today that do that with ink, and I'm like, oh, that would be so much fun with the spirographs. Doing the spirographs, can you imagine doing the spirographs and having the ink color change as you're circling around with the spirographs? Wouldn't that be cool? So I've got them on my wish list to order at some point. I can't do it this week because, all next week I've got my genealogy course. And if I get those pens in there, I'm not going to want to do anything else but experiment with them. So I am being very good, and they are staying exactly where they are. And at some point I will get them, but it won't be like this week or the next coming week because of everything I've got going on. So this evening it is going to be go for a walk. I was going to go get the mail tonight, but that didn't happen. They've got flash flood warnings all over the place. So tomorrow morning I've got to be online. I think it's like 7 o'clock in the morning because they're starting the expo thing, and the expo's got some speakers and stuff speaking at it too. So kind of like the convention portion of the whole event, and then Monday we start the classes. So from like 7 to like 3 in that. Then I'm meeting with somebody at 3 o'clock, and as soon as that call's over, I'm off to get the mail because I've got some parcels down there, and I also need to go via the Office Max. I have to go via Office Max because I thought I had a composition book and some note paper or some loose leaf note paper that I could use for next week, and I don't. So I've got one that I just started doing research. I've got a research plan in the front of it that I'm working on for a client. So that one's an interesting one. Very interesting backstories. Really, really, really interesting backstories on that, as well as just the whole story that I have been told that I'm working on. It's just fascinating. I'm hoping I can. I'm working on doing a good job with the research and everything else. So I've done a little bit here and a little bit here there this week, and now I've got a conundrum because I now have several people that could be this particular person that we're looking for, and now I have to figure out which one it is with very, very, very little information. So it's going to be interesting. So I have to go back to the client and see if she can remember anything more about what she's been told about this particular person. They'll help me narrow it down a little bit. So yes, I thought it might have been a little easier because she has a very different first name, but it turns out the place that the time and place it occurred, it wasn't exactly an uncommon name. So it's like, darn it. And so I thought, well, they should be easy to find since they did come to the US at some point. And then I'm like thinking, it's not going to be a common name here in the US. Yeah, wrong. And I'm like, oh, jeepers. It's like I have several of these people with the same first name. That's not a very common name. Well, I thought wouldn't be a common name. And married to different men. And they all at some point came to the US. So I'm looking for them through the census and can't find those particular ones matching up with those with the male names. I find them matched up with different male names. And I'm like, oh. So yes, we're having to do. It's a very interesting problem to have. And I wish I could use it for next week, but I can't because the people have to be born in the US. So we have to take with us to class, and there's somebody we're going to be working on for the week, somebody in the tree, in our own personal tree, that was born between the American Revolution and 1940, and bring in as much information about that person as we can. And I'm like, huh. I thought I've got relatives who moved to the States at some point, but they're not in my direct line. And then today, no, when was I doing that? Oh yeah, one of these, you know, I was telling you about how they've pulled our trees and they've gone back like 16 generations. And so I was having a look at that, at a couple of those, just having a quick look, because they can PDF form and they've got the whole chart written out. Everybody's in a little box. Pink or blue boxes based on whether you're male or female. And then the lines are going between them based on whether it's mother or father's side of the family. And I was looking at those today and I'm like, there's a US in mine. Like I've got like a 7th great grandfather, I think it is, who was born here in the US. And I'm like, in like 1790? No, that was the year his dad died. So he was 1756, which was before the American Revolution. His dad died in 1790. He was born in 1756. So my 7th great-grandfather died in 1790 here in the States. His son was born in like 1756, which is before the American Revolution. I'm like, I'm just right around that window. And they're direct. You know, 6th and 7th great-grandfathers that were... one was born in England. They came to the States, and I figured out why, because his wife was from Philadelphia. And then he ended up passing away here, but they had kids here, and one of them was born in 1756, which was my 6th great-grandfather. So I was like, and then he went back to England and got married there and had kids there. I'm like, darn him. He couldn't have stayed in the States for his life. Nope, he went back to England. But then, like I said, that's my 6th great-grandfather, and he went back to England, and and as they say, the rest is history. So, yes, it's very interesting. Just looking through those PDFs and suddenly seeing an American flag. Because you can, on the chart, you can turn around and say, which country are you born in? And it puts the flags up. So going back, and like I can go back in New Zealand to like 3 generations. And then it's all, Britain, the UK flag all the way back. And then suddenly you see an American flag on your side of the tree. And I'm so like, what? Wait, what? To go investigate that one a little more closely. Yes, I have to figure that one out. I actually do have those 2 guys in my tree. So I was able to go into my tree and actually pull them up. And that's how I found out when and where they were born and stuff. But yeah, my 6th great-grandfather went from America back to the UK. And as I say, the rest is history. So, because it was my great-grandmother who came to New Zealand. Her husband, so my 2nd great-grandfather, granddad, Harry, so my 2nd great-grandfather, his wife is one that came to New Zealand with their son, my great-grandfather. So my great-grandfather and his mum came to New Zealand. Her husband, my 2nd great-grandfather, died in England before they came over, when my great-grandfather was like 2, I think it was. But that was his 2nd marriage. He had a marriage before, and his wife had passed away and left a parcel of kids. And so, yeah, they had a few kids. But one of his daughters came with my 2nd great-grandmother and my great-grandfather when they moved over here. And they moved over here when my great-grandfather he was just a boy when they moved over. And so the girl came down with my 2nd great-grandmother, and that was her stepdaughter, or my 3rd great aunt. I think it's 3rd great aunt. My great grandfather's half sister. So they came down to New Zealand, but so her husband passed away when my grandfather was like 5. I want to say it was. He was in single digits on age. Might have been 2, and then they came down here when he was 5. But she didn't stick around in England very long before she came to New Zealand. So it's very interesting to see where your ancestors started off and migrated to and from and all of that. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting to going back. But I still have to find, so I'm thinking I might do my mother-in-law's mother or her parents, because there's a little iffy piece in there. And if I can help solve that problem, it would definitely open everything wide. But then I've got names like Smith and Little in there, and I'm like, oh, jeepers. And I have to make sure, I think I have the right ones in the tree. I am like pretty sure, I'm about probably around 85 to 90% sure I've got it correct. And if I do have it fully correct, then that means that all the descendants from that leg of the tree can join the daughters or the sons of the American Revolution. So I want to get that one cleared up a little bit. So I need somebody to actually go in and verify that I've got everything correct. And I have like 2 to 3 sources. I would try to go for a minimum of 3 sources, but I have 2 to 3 sources for every piece of all the facts that I have in there. If it's stuff I've transferred over from another tree, then I've had to put in there what sources I had, how I found out about it, and that sort of thing too. But we shall see. So yeah, great 6th great grandfather. But then he didn't stay in the States. That was the other thing. They have to be in the States. And I'm like, okay, what happens if you were born and raised in New Zealand and your ancestors come from England? But then when you get books like the courthouse records for the U.S., U.S. courthouse records, and what's the other one? Deciphering early American handwriting. Oh, yeah, I've got to show you something with that book too. Hang on. This is... Yeah, so we've got this book, Reading Early American Handwriting, is one of the textbooks, okay? See how thick it is? It is 289 pages, right? All right, so now I've got to go all the way back here. Where is it? It's like around page. Okay, so I'm getting up to where I need it to be. There's Appendix D and Appendix A. Okay. Get past the table of contents and the intro and that. Okay, so 286 pages, right? That's what I said. Actually, no. 289 pages. So out of 289, which is a very thick book, this much is the actual textbook. This is the actual learning portion. That goes from page 1 to page 59. Actually, I'm wrong. It's page 58. Yes, it's page, 57. 57, so 57 pages. The first 57 pages out of a 289-page book. Do the math. The rest, this portion of the book, okay, so this portion is the text. This portion of the book is all reference material and examples of all the different handwritings and things. You guys aren't seeing handwriting bits on this. Maybe I'll do it this way. This way's more picturesque. Okay, so it's got samples in here. It's all samples. Pages of samples, all from different eras and things. And they've got translations. So on one side is, then we're into the reference material. So they've got reference material in here. But on the things, they have like here it is written here, and then here's the translation underneath. So you can look and figure out the handwriting and stuff. So I was sort of like, okay, so I have 57 pages of text, and the rest is all samples. Isn't that cool? And I was just like, that's wild. That is wild. So anyway, I'm going to be getting into those this weekend, and like I said, marking them up and putting my little post-its in there so I know where different things are, and because we've got the syllabus, so I can go through and see what subjects they're doing and then flag them in the books and stuff. But anyway, I'm out of here. Are the windows still crying, Zeffie? If you haven't heard the windows crying story, you have to go to Zeffie's Great Adventures, and there's the last talking video that Kathy put in there of Zeffie talking, has her talking about how the windows were crying. So anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling weekend. Oh, let us know in the comments below what fun activities you've got planned this weekend. And also too, in the description is the link to the free drawing. So you go to the free drawing, you enter, it's just name and email address, and you receive a free copy of the ebook Family Tree Decoded, and the articles What Unicorns Can Teach You About Magic, and 5 easy ways to make your life more exciting. Everything, yeah. So But anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday, rest of your fun Friday. We will catch you back here early. I don't even know what the break times are for tomorrow. So if I'm not on before 7 o'clock in the morning, then it's going to be at a break time, and I don't know what the break times are for tomorrow. But I will be on tomorrow morning for Shake It Up Saturday, and that's going to be my Shake It Up Saturday is going to be the beginning of a Shake It Up week. It's going to be amazing. So go have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow for Shake It Up Saturday. Hei konera. Do rain in it.